way, the property settlement was $800 and some thousand in JoAnn Wilson's favor by the court. And after the negotiations, it was roughly half?
Yes, roughly.
Now, very quickly about the method of payment. Was there a provision dealing with the death of JoAnn?
A moratorium was put on the payments. It meant that with JoAnn's death, the payments could be deferred. Indeed, they were deferred and have never been paid since her death.
Thank you. Your witness.
Thank you, my lord. Mr. Wilson, you didn't admit you didn't have anything to do with that, did you? That first shooting of JoAnn Wilson, or the second one. I want to be clear on that.
No, of course not.
Mr. Wilson, I'll ask it as directly as I can, and I know that you'll answer as directly as you can. Were you and JoAnn having some marital problems?
No, definitely not.
So if I were to suggest to you that perhaps the presence of the housekeeper on an ongoing basis was the source of some friction between you and JoAnn, what would your answer to that be?
I would say that that was nonsense, because JoAnn hired her. JoAnn was very happy to have her.
So what's the purpose then today of having this particular individual remain in your house? I mean, what duties does she perform?
She doesn't perform any duties. She's a student. We have a large house.
Right. Mr. Wilson, on the afternoon of the murder, who was at home?
I was at home. I don't remember whether Mario was home.
And you were upstairs with your... you were laying in bed at the time that you were aroused?
Yes.
And you didn't hear anything at all from the garage?
No.
Mr. Wilson, you don't like Colin Thatcher at all, do you?
No.
Would I be correct in saying that you wouldn't mind seeing him convicted for this?
I would not mind.
Well, from what he told me, he was going into Regina every night if he could to find an opportune time when JoAnn would be available.
Available? Available for what?
If the circumstances were right for JoAnn to be killed.
When did you next talk to Colin about the killing of JoAnn?
Well, I was really upset, but I think the first thing I said was, so you really did it this time, huh? And he just told me not to talk in there.
You're referring to the suspicion of microphones, which you mentioned earlier?
Yes, I am. Then, when we were outside the condo, the thing that sticks in my mind is him saying, I have to admit, it's a strange feeling to have blown your wife away.
Is this an act?
An act?
An act for the jury.
No.
You enjoy this process?
Not at all.
Being here, enjoying the notoriety of being a witness in a major murder trial.
Sir, my life has been threatened twice by telephone.
Well, that's very convenient. I'm getting the very distinct impression, Mrs. Mendel, that you'd like to paint a picture here today of Satan personified beside me, and you yourself beatified. Yet, in fact, when you knew what you said you knew, that JoAnn Thatcher had been murdered by the accused, you didn't do anything. You didn't take steps to tell anybody.
Perhaps this was a mistake on my part.
Perhaps this whole little thing this morning is a flight of fancy on your part, witness. Little bit of imagination. Isn't the reason that you became bitter towards Colin Thatcher is that you, witness, as you viewed it, you wasted 2 years of your life on this man. And when you realized that he wasn't going to marry you, you got bitter, and I mean bitter.
Yes, I was a little bitter at first. Afterwards, I wasn't. When I left him, I was just relieved.
I suggest to you, witness, you have taken everything that Colin Thatcher did, said, made any reference to, and you've just twisted it a little bit to put a guilty look to it.
I have no reason to do that.
And when he came into the condominium and you said, well, you finally did it this time, huh? And he said, not to talk there, you took that to be an unequivocal, total, complete admission that he'd done the murder, didn't you?
Yes, we had oblique conversations because of Colin's fear of wiretaps and microphones.
Can you tell me this, witness? Have you ever given Colin Thatcher the benefit of one doubt? Have you ever done that?
I sure have.
I sure have. I have no further questions.
My lord, one brief question in re-examination. Is it your opinion that the statement, "It is a strange feeling to have blown your wife away," is that oblique?
I don't think so.
No. No. Thank you, my lord.
Mrs. Mendel, you are excused from further attendance until required. We will adjourn now until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Order.
Can't find Anderson.
Can't find him.
Is he in there?
Yes, sir.
You all set?
Anytime.
Let's do it.
Let me talk to him first. He knows me.
The man is crazy.
He's not much good to his dad, is he?
Man, she knew. See? You do anything for anyone, and you just get screwed.
Hey, Gare. A lot of people waiting for you out there.
Yeah, right. Everybody wants me, but nobody knows.
Come on, Gare, I know who you are.
Nobody! Nobody knows who is Gary Anderson. Yeah. No one knows! Nobody knows who is Gary Anderson!
We're down, all right?
Bullshit! Nobody knows me, and no one ever will!
Fine.
Yeah, fine to you too, buddy. Get out of here. Yeah. I could have been a lawyer! He lost a few shingles in the last storm.
All right, go get him.
Okay, move out. Hey, come on, guys. Let's not overreact.
Court is now in session.
Next witness is Gary Anderson.
My lord, before we proceed, I'd like to ask your permission to allow Mr. Thatcher to join me at the council table once the present situation makes it difficult to confer.
Any objection, Mr. Kiyapa?
No objection, my lord.
Very well.
Bring a chair.
I was to listen to the news, and if anything had happened to JoAnn, I was to go back and pick up the car. I'd read on the 22nd in the Regina Leader Post that she had been killed, and I consequently drove the car back out to my mother's farm, and I cleared the stuff up that was on the inside of the car.
What was in the car when you picked it up?
Well, there was a black ski-type jacket, pair of blue jeans, some sunglasses, and there was a tuft of hair, what looked to be out of a wig, you know.
I would ask, my lord, that we now hear the tape recording.
Your land's awful dry, eh? Yeah, it is, particularly down at this end. This is where Evan Thally used to dump his manure. Have you been hassled? Well, the cops come once and talked to me about the shed. But apart from that, nothing. How about you? Just the once, the day after. No question, there's been some attempts to put us together, and we should not be seen together. Yeah, okay. So I got rid of this stuff out of the car. Good. And you kind of give me a scare there, eh? I mean, I didn't know where the hell you... Well, I didn't know what the hell you did with the gun.
Well, don't even talk like that. Don't even... Let's walk back this way. Look, I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to...
Yeah, you know, I've always had a great fear of those parabolic mics that they have. Now, there are no loose ends.
No.
At all. You know, I mean, they've all gone every which direction. You need some bread?
Yeah, well, I could use some for that car, eh?
Uh-huh.
Because I had a bitch of a time getting rid of the blood and stuff out of the car.
Well, there's no chance it could ever surface.